getting your mead contaminated. I also have a large background in chemistry, so understanding how all of the lab work works to get you checking your pH, how to adjust your pH, those kind of things. Those are just secondhand to me, things I've done every day at work. And,
should I tell her? Should I tell her about my operating theater, Vicky?
Yeah, JD's kitchen looks like an ER, looks like a ER or like a hospital operating room. It's pretty hilarious.
Oh, okay.
I sanitize everything: the walls, the floor, the counters, everything.
I don't go quite those extremes, but
he
use a lot of sanitation.
Yeah, he about had a coronary when he found out how I do it, which is like I wipe the food off the counter and then
and I don't
none of them have gotten spoiled yet. We got some place to set your carboys, so
Oh wow, I get it from both sides here.
Yeah, you're outnumbered. So, Susan, I've known you since somewhere in the early 2000s-ish, I think.
And say whatever the first year the International Mead Fest was, I think in Denver.
Yeah.
So I went to Planet Buzz, which was technically the first one.
Yeah.
I think
and then the next 2 years were in Boulder, and then there was one in Denver, if I remember right.
Yeah. I was at both the ones in Boulder and the one in Denver, I think, and then I had skipped a few years.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't have that option. being on the management staff for Mazer Cup means I better show up or I'm dead.
Yeah.
Very good.
But it's always a lot of fun. So, but okay, you've been making mead for about 20 years. At what point, or what was the trigger for you? It's always interesting to find out how people get into this obsession in a professional way. So what was the tipping point for you that you decided that it was time for a meadery, or was that always the plan?
I think we had a family or a friend of mine had a lot of health issues, and it just hit me one day. It's like, I want to do something that I really love, and mead is what I really love. And so I just thought, okay, I'm going to open this. And then I was looking at our retirement. It's like, I am never going to be able to retire on what I'm making at the university. So I thought, okay, I will just retire poor doing something fun anyway.
That sounds like pretty good logic to me. I mean, if you're not going to get to retire in any case, you might as well be doing something you like.
Yep.
So what was are you native to the Fargo area? Is that home for you, or are you a transplant?
I'm native to North Dakota. I grew up in central North Dakota, moved to Fargo to go to college in 79, and I've been here ever since.
Okay.
Met my husband in college and stayed here. We have family around here, so
that's
his
nice.
Mom lives in the area. My mom lives in the area.
That's very cool.
And my grandkids. I have 3 grandkids that live here.
Woo, jealous.
Kids, so.
I don't get any grandbabies for a while, so I just get to be jealous of other people's.
After I had the first one, then the shock was over. Then now I'm happy to have more kids. That'd be okay. But it's that first one. It's like, no, I can't be old enough to be a grandmother.
To be a grandparent, I know, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of reconciled myself to that when my daughter got married in January. I was like, well, crap. That wasn't supposed to happen quite this soon.
Yeah.
But it did. So, that's the way it happened. So Fargo and, North Dakota in general, wherever did you stumble across mead? What was where'd you find it? Or was the first place you ever had it?
Well, some friends, a couple of people I worked with homebrewed, and they kept every morning they'd come in to coffee and talk about their homebrewing, and it just kind of got my interest. And then finally we went to some events with them, and we tasted mead, and it's like, oh, this stuff is really good. And so my actual first homebrew was making a mead. And so my husband fell in love with it. I fell in love with it, and then from there it's just all, I don't know if you'd say downhill or uphill or whatever, but overboard. It probably.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you remember that first mead, Susan? You remember what?
Yes, I do. We made a batch of traditional. It actually turned out excellent, and it did actually win some awards with that one. But we ended up splitting it 3 ways. We did a 6-gallon batch or a 5-gallon batch, split it, and did a raspberry, strawberry rhubarb, and then part of it is traditional. And strawberry rhubarb was really good, interesting. That one was really interesting in that the strawberry would come in one time you opened the bottle, and the next time the rhubarb, it kept just floating in and out, those flavors. The raspberry was like over the top. We had, I think, I want to say close to 10 or 15 pounds of raspberries in a 2-gallon batch. And
wow. Oh, my
and we
God.
did 2 gallons initially of the fermented mead and then added raspberries to it. And
okay, from now on, I'm going to readjust all of my melomel recipes. I'm ramping up the fruit.
Well, you should have. Yeah, you have to listen to Pete.
I've actually backed off a bit on the fruit from that, but it was
It gets expensive, and it's a lot of work to put that much fruit in sometimes.
Yeah. If I had to do a 150-gallon batch now with that much fruit, it would be okay.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you've got 5 meads out and a sixth in the starting gates, and only 2 of them are melomels. The rest are different things. Yep. So, what a traditional, the ginger, blackberry and cherry for your fruits, and then the mint, which you just bottled that like a week or so ago, didn't you?
No, we've had it now, the mint, for probably a month.
Okay.
About 3 to 4 weeks, anyway.
Shows you how fast my life's been running past me.
And, let's see, the mint and the cherry were our last one. The cherry, we've only had a couple of weeks.
Okay.
That was the last one I came with. And then I've got a star anise that's coming.
I saw that, and that's an interesting approach. I don't know anybody's doing a star anise. So why that one? Just out of curiosity. It's a little different.
I like licorice flavor, and I've made one as a homebrew batch, which I absolutely love. So if I love it, everybody else probably will. So
no, I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people who do. It's just an interesting. Yeah, do you crush them, or do you just toss them in whole like people do with cloves, or what do you do?
I pop them in whole. Yeah.
Okay. So your little star-shaped floaties all over the inside of the fermenter?
No, I put them in a bag. I put them in a mesh bag, and so that you can you keep tasting it. And when I like where the balance is, I pull them out.
Okay. That makes good sense, because that one seems to me like star anise would be one of those things that's like cloves. It's real easy to go too far.
Yeah, you probably could, but I guess, and that's always going to be relative to whoever is tasting it, whether it's too much or not enough.
True.
Because some people just don't like that flavor, and even a little bit is too much, and others, if they just truly love it, then they want just a ton of it. So I think mine is pretty well balanced, though.
Star anise. So am I thinking of the same thing, like the anise cookies my grandmother used to make?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, my God, yes. I'm coming to North Dakota.
There's one who will buy it. You better hurry up and get that online distribution going, Susan.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Oh, man. My grandmother made the most awesome anise cookies. Oh.
I've never been a fan of licorice, so I tend to hand those off to other people who like it better than me, because I can't do it justice. It's right up there. It's right up there with prickly pear. I don't like prickly pear meads either. I just don't. Some are really amazing, but not for me.
Susan, after making mead for 20 plus years, I guess, has the process changed for you at all, or do you find anything different today than how you were making mead 20 years ago?
Oh yeah, I mean, when I started out, we did the whole process of you bring the honey and water up to 185 and let it sit there for 45 minutes to sanitize and all that. And then you had to have the chiller to chill it all down in the end and stuff. And yeah, just adding the water and the honey together and mixing it well and letting it ferment so much quicker now. It would take, when I originally made it, then it didn't know about the staggered yeast nutrients. I didn't know about any of that. I kept everything sanitary, so it was always good, but it just took so much longer to ferment, and then it took a little bit of time to age out and smooth out, because when you're fermenting and not giving as much nitrogen, then you get a little bit more hotter alcohols just from having a stressed yeast. So rather than taking 6 months to a year for a mead to be ready, nowadays they can be ready in 1 to 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the no heat. You don't need to heat because, which makes sense. Honey is sanitary in itself.
Yeah,
because it's such condensed sugar.
So, what sort of turnaround are you getting then from pitch to bottle?
I'm usually it's about 12 weeks. I could be done sooner than that, but it just seems like I never managed to get my labels approved and all that stuff and in time.
Yeah.
So it's every step takes a little bit. Now I'm figuring out how to. I've got all my recipes. Let's send in label approvals whether I've made the mead or not, and figuring that out.
I didn't realize. I didn't realize that you have to get labels approved. Is this some kind of state law?
Oh yeah,
federal. It's federal.
Oh really?
You have to get your recipe approved, and then you have to. Once that's approved, you have to get your labels approved, and once they're approved, then it's another 2 weeks or so to get them printed and shipped back to you. And yeah, everything just takes time.
So you send your recipe in, you call it mead, and they write back and say, "What's this?"
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It used to be. They're actually better now with the new regulations. I haven't had too much problem. I get them. It's like little picky things. Like now, you're mead makers. Everybody on here is mead makers. No mead maker in the world has ever called clover honey clover blossom honey. That is what they're making me put on. That's what I have to put on my label. On 3 of my labels. The first 3 went through just fine saying clover honey on there. The next 3, the guy just argued, no, you have to have clover blossom.
Clover and even if you show him your already approved labels, he's still standing his ground.
I didn't bother because I didn't want to have to get those redone.
True. Yeah. Well, and I've noticed that from the different meaderies I've spoken to over the years that it's really the luck of the draw. I mean, if you get the guy whose wife gave him a rough time last night and burned his dinner or something, he's going to be all crappy on the people that come in for label approval the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had to go through. I
think they go out of their way that they need to find some little thing.
Oh, they're
have to change.
Border crossing guards, eh?
They're like beer judges.
Beer.
Yeah, one of the things that we say, one of the things that is regularly put out and spoken aloud as they're instructing the judges at the Mazer Cup is those of you who do more beer judging than you do mead judging, just know that the points you don't give don't go to heaven with you.
Yeah,
that was Ken Schramm originally, and it's we've adopted it. So. But yeah, it really is. I mean, you can ask 5 TTB agents in the same day. It's the exact same question and get 5 different answers. There's no consistency there right now.
Yeah. We're talking to Susan Rude from North Dakota, Prairie Rose Meadery. And if you've ever been to North Dakota, I have on